Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. This is the live horror stream 5, The Awakening. Been a long time, guys, since I've done a live stream. So I figured since Saturday is always a big night for doing live streams, I figured why not? Been a long time. I know it's late at night, or should I say early in the morning, but I thought it'd be fun to catch up with you guys, give you a chance to maybe chat with the my fellow subscribers. Little chance maybe if you guys are around, you want to ask me some questions. I do have a few topics that I do want to discuss tonight. Uh, Let me just check the chat here. I want to make sure I am live. I did hear myself there, but so yeah, welcome everybody to the live horror stream 5, The Awakening. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen, in the horror corner. So yeah, I did write down a few issues I'd like to discuss tonight in my live stream. This is my first live stream in quite a while. The last time I did a live stream, I believe, was on Bronco Juggalo's channel when we did the ranking the James Bond series. Uh, he kind of took me out of hiding on that one because that got me really excited. I've been a Bond fan my whole life. I grew up watching James Bond when I was a kid, and I still love it to this day. I just love James Bond. Hey, we got Screen in the chat. Is your chair actually in the corner? Yeah, it is in the corner, as a matter of fact. In the corner next to my window here. See, you got the window right there, which goes outside. I'm actually in the horror basement, I should say. Uh, so welcome, Scream. That's a tough one to say. So welcome in, and welcome everyone out there in YouTube land. Yeah, I know. So it's been a while since I've done a live stream. A while back, if you remember, I did the horror hangout live stream, which with several of my other some of my favorite YouTubers, and that was such a great experience. I also did the blood spattered trio with Hellhound and Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies. Okay, we got Movie Freak 688 in the house. Having a good night? Yes, I am. So yeah, guys, I had some free time in my hand, and I saw Saturdays usually seems to be a big night for everyone to do live streams. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put my hat in the mix. Why not? I have some free time in my hands. I've been working quite a bit. I work 2 jobs now, and I actually didn't have any videos out this week, so I'm sorry about this, guys. So this is kind of my way of making it up to you. I know I didn't have any content on my channel this week because I've been working every single day, like double shifts on both jobs. So I haven't had a lot of time in my hands. Uh, but I want to make sure I do bring content to you guys whenever possible, whenever I have some kind of free time in my hands. And yeah, I know here we are at 1:18 in the morning on Saturday night. But I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm kind of wired. I don't feel like going to sleep yet. Normally I'd be in bed right now, but I just felt like doing it. Why not? So the first thing I want to talk about a little bit is the Scaricon experience I had this year. That was such a blast. It was such an honor and a privilege to meet Heather Langenkamp from the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and there were several women from the Elm Street series there as well. You had Amanda Wiss, who was also in the original 1984 film, along with Heather Langenkamp, and she played Tina in the film. So she was there, and also Lisa Wilcox, who played Alice in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 and 5. She was the final girl in both movies, which I really did enjoy. I really did enjoy her role in those films. I am a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I wasn't such a big fan of 5, but I did enjoy her role in the film. She certainly wasn't the problem with that movie. There was a lot of issues other than that, but she was fine. So yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I also want to talk about meeting Felissa Rose there from the original Sleepaway Camp from 1983. That was amazing. Uh, Such a lovely, lovely lady. She seemed like someone that you could really relate to, that you could just hang around and shoot the shit with and have a great time. Oh, Andrew Ballina in the house. I'm sorry, Andrew Ballina. I mess that up sometimes, I know. Andrew Ballina, welcome. How you doing, man? One of my favorite fellow YouTubers. Welcome, the man from Australia, from down under. So welcome everybody. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the live horror stream 5, The Awakening at the Horror Corner. Yeah, Andrew, I'm good. How are you? I just had some extra time in my hand, which is rare lately because I've been working 2 jobs. And I didn't even have any content out this week. So I figured I'd kind of make it up to my subscribers and to my fellow YouTubers if they're wondering what I've been doing. I actually did do a collaboration video with Three from the Grave. So if you guys haven't checked out Three from the Grave's channel, I suggest you do. It's 3 awesome YouTubers: Movie Massacre, Strange Monkey, and Angela Makeup. Three from the Grave. So I did a collaboration video with them. I did a review on The Prodigy, a film that came out earlier this year. So be on the lookout for that one, guys. That should come out in the next couple weeks or so. Oh, we got Need Gore in the house. Hey, yo. What's up? Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Andrew Ballina. Welcome. Oh, we got Adam Paul Beaumont joining us. So we got 2 lads from down under. Welcome. Oh, Andrew Ballina says that's in your vids. Thanks, man. Oh, he also says, I want to see the project. Yeah, definitely. I suggest you check that out. I think you will really enjoy it. Um, it is one of those films that's kind of in the bad child genre. We've seen a lot of movies like that, and maybe that's why it didn't do as well as maybe it should have. Because we've seen a lot of movies like that, like The Omen and The Good Son and The Bad Seed and Orphan and stuff like that. But Negor says, yeah, it's a raid low key. Yeah, we're low key. Oh, got the horror man in the house. Welcome, Joe. Very nice of you to join us. So I'm happy with this turnout here. It's just kind of an impromptu live stream, but this is great. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, so guys, I had a little free time in my hand, so I wanted to connect with you guys. Igor says Sean is the man. Thank you. Didn't get a cinema release here, Adam Paul Beaumont says. Really? Wow. Well, I'm sure you can check it out on the DVD anyway. Yeah, I didn't see it in the movies. I just caught it on DVD. I actually found the DVD at Savers, which was like, wow, I got a brand new movie from 2019 at Savers. I hardly, to be honest, I hardly ever find anything good at Savers when it comes to movies. But once in a little while, I find a gem, and that was certainly one of them. Movie Freak 688 says, just discovered your channel a week ago. Well, thanks. Welcome to the Horror Corner. Been doing this about quite a while now. I've been on YouTube since 2011, 2012 or so, somewhere around there. Um, but yeah, I've been loving doing this. It's been such a great experience. And I'm going to continue to do this as long as possible. And I've enjoyed so many other YouTubers, and that's what made me want to do it. Watching guys like Jeremy Johns and the Flip Pick, and everyone at the Screen Junkies and things like that. And then I started watching some of the smaller YouTubers. And then I realized there's a whole horror community out there. And I was like, wow, I want to be part of this. I bet I could do that. Just talk, you know. I mean, not everybody has like uh, huge channels like Drum Dums with where they do all this kind of graphics. I don't even edit. I don't know how to edit. I don't have any graphics in my videos, but I love to talk about horror, so that's what I want to do. And any chance to talk with the horror fans and share some of my knowledge about horror. I mean, I do know a thing or two about horror. I've been watching horror. I've been a huge fan my entire life, and I'm 43 now. So, horrific nightmares, JM. What's up? Jason in the house. Welcome. Horror Man says, "Forget the huge channel. It's better to be personal." Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, now and then I still watch some of them. I still watch Jeremy Johns and them. You got Cody Leach and stuff like that. Dave McRae, I really enjoy. I still watch him. I still try to keep an eye on those channels. Those are the guys that kind of helped me bring there. That I got, influenced by guys like ah, there's so many of them. Dude, I'll probably never be big on editing aside from removing my many ums and uhs. If I did that, I'd be here all night. Andrew Ballina says, I'd honestly rather chat like this with smaller channels than watch a huge channel with all the bells and whistles that you get no interaction with. Yeah, that's true. Um, you yourself, Andrew, you're pretty up there. You got quite a few subscribers. You're like a big tuber. But I like that you can do this, and that you can acknowledge some of the smaller YouTubers like myself, and people like um, Horrific Nightmares, JM, and Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies, and you really have a rapport with all of us, like people like Queenie Todd, and it's such a great community. I absolutely love it. It's amazing. I never thought it would be like this. At any rate, yeah, I wanted to talk. So I did have a few topics tonight. So this weekend I'm going to see Spider-Man Far From Home. And I'm really excited about that. I've been a huge Spider-Man fan since I was a little kid. Love comics. I mean, I don't really collect them these days, but I was an avid collector for a long time, and probably 80% of my collection was Spider-Man comics because you had so many of them. You had Amazing Spider-Man, The Spectacular Spider-Man, Spider-Man Annual, Peter Parker Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man. There's so many to keep up with. And sometimes they'd have one story that goes through all the Spider-Man issues. Yeah, I'm really excited about seeing it. And, I did enjoy Homecoming a lot. I think Tom Holland is a fantastic Spider-Man, and yeah, I would say that he's probably is the best Spider-Man that we've gotten in cinema so far. Andrew Ballina says, "Thanks, Sean. I always try and keep humble, and I like chatting with everyone. And if it wasn't for the return of Joe." and all you smaller guys joining in the past few years, the community we would be dead. Really? Oh, we got Har and TOJ in the chat. Hey, how you doing, man? Yeah, at any rate, yeah, so yeah, I'm really excited to see Spider-Man Far From Home and to see what they do with the Mysterio character, especially as being played by Jake Gyllenhaal. He's a fantastic actor, and I was like, when I heard he was cast, I was like, wow, that's cool. And I was amazed when I saw the Mysterio costume and how they're showing him. Like, wow, that looks exactly like the comic book. And I never thought they'd be able to pull that off in the movies. I thought it would look ridiculous. When you see it in a comic book, I couldn't imagine it translating to live action. But it seems like they're able to do it damn well. I mean, it looks awesome. Andrew Ballina says, yeah, a lot of the OG horror guys left years ago and things were dead for about 2, 3 years, up until the past couple of years. See, I didn't know that because I didn't really interact with people for a long time. I just kind of did my own thing, and I didn't even try to reach out to people. I didn't uh, try to get into the whole community. I didn't realize that there was really a horror base out there until I started researching. I started reaching out to other YouTubers and commenting on their videos. And after a while, you build a relationship, and it's just been so cool. And I also watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse as well, which I really enjoyed. So it came out on Netflix, so I was really excited about that. It's a really cool movie. Oh, I can't see my face anymore. Why is that? Okay, there we go. I apologize, guys, if this is a little slow. I'm not used to doing this. Haven't done it in a long time. And welcome everybody in the chat. So glad you could join us. So just right now we got Andrew Ballina in the chat. We got Horrific Nightmares JM. We got Harvin TOJ. And yeah, Adam Paul Beaumont. So welcome everybody. So yeah, another big pickup I just got, which I've been wanting to get for so long, is the New York Ripper. So, guys, you can definitely expect a review coming soon of the New York Ripper. I actually saw it a long time ago, but I will never got it on DVD or Blu-ray for some reason. We're taking over, says Neat Gore. Yeah, hell yeah. Jason says Into the Spider-Verse was incredible. Yeah, it was. That's great animation, and I love the way they told the story, with the different alternate universes where they have different Spider-Mans in each one. Nico says Spider-Verse was crazy good, yeah. The New York Ripper was bad. The the thing is, with New York Ripper, a lot of it is kind of silly, and you're like, when you hear the murderer speak, especially, it's hilarious. Now, I wonder what Lucio Fulci was thinking when he decided to use a guy talking in duck voice when he calls people. What part of him thought that that would be scary? The guy that sounds like Donald Duck. uh, Movie Freak 688 says, I can't see Midsummer until next week. I'm so mad. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that one. Supposed to be really good, huh? That was the from the makers of Hereditary. That's interesting. I really enjoyed Hereditary. No, Jason, I just got the regular Blu-ray because I can't afford that big hyped up one. I did see that on the shelf though. I was like, man, I wish I could get that. And it was like $33. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I'm just a poor man in a poor man's world. I can never afford like these big hyped up Blu-rays with double discs and all that stuff. But this is a perfectly fine version. I mean, it looks great. It's on Blu-ray, so you know, got the movie, and that's the important thing. And I mean, you don't really need a movie like The New York Ripper to be in 4K and look so great. You know, you want it to look a little cheesy and a little grainy. You know, you don't need an old school '80s slasher movie to be in super high definition. You know. Yeah, as Andrew Ballin says, as long as you can watch the movie, it's all that matters. Yeah, I agree. I think things like a Spider-Man Far From Home, yeah, or Avengers Infinity War, yeah, you want to see stuff like that in a 4K or a Blu-ray, and you want a hyped up Blu-ray, uh, something like that. You want to hear the sound and the effects and the extreme jewels, you know. Uh, but an old school '80s slasher movie, you don't really need that. A classic horror movie, maybe like Halloween or something. Yeah, I can see that. Like a classic horror movie that has awesome soundtrack, like Nightmare on Elm Street, or and that's got crazy visuals like Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, something like that I can see, but like an old school kind of cheesy '80s slasher. You don't need to be that kind of crazy quality. But Sean, Halloween looks amazing for. Well, yeah, Halloween. Like I said, I can see someone getting a 4K of Halloween because that's such a uh, amazing movie visually. But like old school, I'm talking about old school cheesy slashers that were grainy and kind of. But you want to keep that feel with those kind of movies, don't you? You want a little bit of the cheesiness. And another one I want to talk about is, so I'm just going to talk about a couple ones that I'm going to. Yeah, Jason, of course, Halloween deserves the 4K treatment, deserves every kind of treatment imaginable. I mean, if they come out with something better than 4K, Halloween deserves a new release of that. Because Halloween is absolutely phenomenal. Okay. My favorite movie of all time. I'm sure you guys know that by now. No one, if you watch my channel at all. Movie Freak 688. Watching my limited edition DVD of Halloween right now. I like the older DVD look. Andrew Ballina says I have the 3-disc 4K set of Zombie and Maniac, and they look great, but it's not essential. Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, it is great to get those hyped up releases like that of Zombie, um, but it's not totally necessary. You don't have to have it because um, they're really old school movies, and you kind of don't really want them to look that great. Like Texas, like a good example, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even though that is a classic. Um, but you want that graininess in a movie like that because that's part of the charm of it. At least that's the way I feel. Certain movies like that, you don't need a hyped up Blu-ray or 4K release. Movie Freak 688 says Halloween and The Shining are tied for my favorite movies. Yeah, The Shining is just amazing. So that's a movie I could see where you would want the 4K release because that's such a visually stunning movie. I mean, the visuals in The Shining are just absolutely amazing. And that's what makes the movie to me, other than the great performances as well, of course, by Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall. Um, but I mean, what really drives the film is Stanley Kubrick's direction and the visuals. the great performances by Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson are like the icing on the cake almost. Because this got such a great story, such great visuals, such an awesome directing job by Stanley Kubrick. The atmosphere he creates, the tension, the claustrophobic feeling. It's just phenomenal. And I'm so guilty with TCM. I have it on 4K. It looks great. Yeah, I have the Blu-ray, the 4K restoration one, which it does look great. Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You can't go wrong. It took me a long, long time to get that Blu-ray of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. For a longest time, I just had the plain old DVD for years and years. I was like, you know what? I'm finally gonna get an upgrade because Texas Chainsaw deserves it. Movie Freak 688 says Kubrick is my favorite director of all time. Ooh, that's hard to argue. He has to be one of the greatest directors of all time. Period in any genre. I mean, he's just made phenomenal classics. Adam Paul Beaumont says, "Hey, do you have TCM2 on 4K, Andrew?" Somehow I doubt it. I know he does have it on Blu-ray at least, but he might end up throwing it in the trash one day, right, Andrew? You and Bronco Juggalo there. Another one you can expect a review on, which I'm really, really looking forward to doing, is Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers. I was so excited to finally get this on DVD, because I only watched it before on YouTube and stuff, or they did have it on Netflix briefly for a while. So that was the only way I saw it. So now I finally have it. So I cannot wait to review that one because I think that Sleepaway Camp 2 is one of the most fun slashers ever made. I think it's so great. I love it. I love it. I love Pamela Springsteen taking over the role of Angela Baker too. I thought she did an amazing job. Just the humor, the self awareness of it. It's so funny and it's just so much fun. There's some great kills in it too. It does have a nasty side to it. Because she is a brutal killer. When it comes down to it, at the end of the day, Angela is a vicious, brutal killer. And she loves it, and that's kind of unsettling at times, even with all the humor and the self-aware attitude of the film. Uh, and it's kind of hard for me to pick what I like better, the original or part two. It's pretty damn close. Yeah, probably at the end of the day, I'd have to go with the original because it's a classic. There wouldn't be a franchise if it wasn't for the original film and the shock that it created. That legendary final scene. Love the opening kill in Sleepaway Camp too. Yeah, she cuts her tongue out. You know, the kill that bothers me the most, that like really freaks me out, is the outhouse kill. Like, oh, oh, no, no, like I can just imagine. Well, I can't even imagine. That's so disgusting. Like when she says, "What's in there?" and she's like, "Shit, that's because you're a shitty camper." Perfect nightmares. Heading to bed, wanted to stop in and say hi. So good to see you on a live stream. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining us. Mr. Horrific Nightmares JM, thanks so much for stopping by. in my first live stream in quite a while. I know this was impromptu, guys. I didn't have time to promote it or anything, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta go for it. Because I don't, because honestly, I don't know when else I'm gonna be able to. I can't like plan one. It's kind of almost have to do it spur of the moment where I don't have a lot of spare time in my hands these days. The outhouse kill was brutal. Yeah, just the disgustingness of it all. The fact that she's swimming around and shit. It's disgusting. And leeches on her face. Oh, it's so gross. Night, Jason. Sweet dreams. Yeah, and that's rare too when they can change an actress or an actor in a series and you buy into it and you invest in the character still even though it's a different actress or actor. And this was one of those rare cases where I totally did invest in her character still even though it was a different actress. How do you feel about the Halloween sequel going to random killer Michael Myers? Like closing out the Strode story and making Michael at random, but with a Halloween 4 vibe. Well, I will be getting into that later on in the stream. I'm gonna talk about Halloween. But there were a couple other things I want to talk about before that. But stick around. I will get into discussing Halloween and everything, the 2018 and the upcoming sequel that we now know about. Which I am excited for, but I do have some feelings on that. Andrew Ballina says, I also love how you see all the bodies in the cabin at the end. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. I like what she does with that guy's head. Look, he's on TV. Oh, that's freaking hilarious. It's so much fun. I love when she does, of course, the happy camper song. Oh, I'm a happy camper. I love the sun, the sun. Oh god. I said there's definitely a lot more humor in Sleepaway Camp 2 than in the original for sure. But the first one certainly had quite a bit as well. It certainly had a cheesiness, a cheesy flavor, and some campy ass acting. There's a lot of laughs in the first one as well, but the second one's just way over the top with it. But it's such a delight, and it's one of my favorite slasher films. Movie Freak 688 when she cut the boyfriend's head off. My mouth dropped for a minute. Yeah, it's pretty rough. That's the thing. There is some rough kills in there. I love how they incorporated, the classic slashers in there, Freddy Krueger and Leatherface and Jason, of course, when they did when they all dressed up in costume. Yeah, such a fun movie, Unhappy Campers. Great soundtrack too. It had that kind of the hair metal soundtrack there. It's a lot of fun. I think I might get that sound. I think I might try and get that soundtrack. I bet that's hard to find. Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, the soundtrack. It's probably hard. All right, guys. So next topic is I want to talk a little bit about the future of my channel and some things that I have upcoming and planned on the horizon. So yeah, like I said, check out the Three from the Graves channel because I did a collaboration video with them, reviewing The Prodigy. So that's going to come out on Three from the Graves channel in a couple of weeks. So I'm really excited to see that. Um, I really enjoy Three from the Grave. I'm a big fan. Got Movie Massacre and Strange Monkey and Angela in there who took the place of Lisa Loves, who was also a good friend of mine, and a fellow YouTuber. But she's doing a great job as well. So either way, I love Fruit 3 from the Grave, and I was so happy to do that. Need Gore says, I'm not mad at the Halloween sequels. Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. So what you can expect coming, watching my channel, expect some more science fiction reviews. I want to get a little bit more into the sci-fi uh, corner, which I've been doing for a while as well as the horror corner. And for the horror corner, I want to do some more of the old school Italian Giallo films. I did Tenebrae a couple weeks ago, so I want to start doing some more of that, like Deep Red. I want to do some more of the Argento stuff, maybe some of the Mario Bava films, some things like that. Some of the earlier Lucio Fulci films. Uh, I want to definitely want to do some more Hammer films, so expect some more Hammer reviews. Because you guys know I love Hammer films. And some old school Universal, some of the classics like Dracula and Frankenstein. I've been meaning to do those for a long time. So expect some more of that, and of course, I want to stay on top of some of the new things as well, like I did the Prodigy. I want to keep up with things, the modern horror as well. I'm going to review Don't Breathe, so expect a review on that. So yeah, I'm always gonna try and do some new reviews as well as the old school, but I'm an old school horror guy at heart, so I'm always gonna do old school horror movie reviews because that's where it's at for me. That's my taste. Uh, and I love all aspects of horror from old school, Universal monster movies, all the way up into today's stuff. I love all aspects, all subgenres of horror. It's all great. I love it all. I'm not so much with the really obscure, cheesy stuff. I have kind of a limit when it comes to cheesy horror, you know. I don't get too far into that. But things like Sleepaway Camp 2, I can handle. But if it goes beyond that, you know, too far beyond that, I can't handle it. A lot of people love that though, and I respect that. A lot of people love cheesy horror and cheesy over the top, low budget. Um, but there's only a certain amount of that I can take. That's just my personal taste. I kind of prefer scary horror, serious horror. When it comes down to it, that's what I really like is serious horror, and like they've been doing a lot lately in the mainstream Hollywood horror films. Like you got Midsummer there. That's a very serious horror film. You had Heredity. Hereditary. That was a very serious horror film. You had Jordan Peele doing with Us and Get Out and stuff like that. That's that's some of the stuff I want to see. And Don't Breathe. That was awesome. How do you? I'm not mad about the Halloween. Okay. So yeah, and I also am going to do a review of Spider-Man Far From Home. So expect that to happen. I'll probably do a spoiler free and then a spoiler filled review like I did with Avengers Endgame. So expect that to be coming. Yeah, so yeah, I don't have a lot of time these days. I don't have a lot of spare time, but I will knock out videos here and there. I am going to still be around, and maybe I'll do a live stream once in a while, like I'm doing now. But I probably won't be able to plan one, um, which is sad. Which is why I couldn't do the horror hangout. I love doing that so much. I love the horror hangout. It was such a great time, and I had so many great YouTubers that I worked with on those shows. So thank you to everybody that ever joined me on the Horror Hangout. Had so many great collaborators like Lisa Loves and Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies, Horrific Nightmares JM. The last one we did, we had Queenie Todd on there. I had Random Ross on there. We had the Horror Miser, Monty G. We had Hellhound from the Horror Metal channel. We had Jen's Reviews from the Grave, Jen and Christian from Jen's Reviews from the Grave. Some amazing YouTubers that I want everyone to go and check out their channels. So, guys, definitely check out Jen's Reviews from the Grave, Hellhound from the Horror Metal channel. Andrew Ballin says, anyway, Sean, I gotta head off. I look forward to your future content and take care of yourself. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for joining us here at the Horror Corner. This is the live stream. This is the live horror stream 5, The Awakening. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Yeah, I know it's real late. And I am not usually up this late, to be honest, but I'm kind of just wired at the moment. I just worked a late shift till midnight, and I just don't want to go right to sleep. I want to stay up for a little bit and hang out with you guys there on YouTube, the YouTube horror community. It's such an amazing, amazing community. I love it, and to me, it's just been nothing but positive. I haven't personally run into any issues. I know some people have had issues lately with some drama going on with trolls and things like that. I personally haven't had too many issues with that. Everybody's been so nice to me throughout the horror community. I've had nothing but respect, and I have nothing but respect for them. Even people I may not always agree with their opinions, but I respect their opinion. And so many people that are in the horror community are so knowledgeable about the horror genre, and I just respect that so much, even if I don't always agree with people's opinions on things. I really respect their opinions because they know what they're talking about. They know the horror genre, and that's exciting. And that's what keeps me going. That's what makes me want to be part of this, because I want to bring some of my horror knowledge to the table too, and just sharing my love of horror with people. That's why I do this, and I'm going to continue to do it. You know, I love it, and I may not be the most fancy channel with the editing and graphics and stuff, but that's just not my thing. I hope to maybe get there one day. I would like to learn how to edit and do all kinds of crazy graphics and stuff, and maybe music. I don't know. At some point, that's the best part, hearing people's different opinions. Yeah, I agree with that, Adam Paul Beaumont. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's why I watch other people's reviews, because I want to see what their take was on a particular film. You know, like what their thoughts are. I am so interested in hearing other people's thoughts on certain movies that I've seen, you know, or a movie that's coming out like Child's Play 2019 that I haven't seen, and hear somebody else's thoughts about it, and that's interesting. I'm interested to see this, just because I heard Adam Paul Beaumont's thoughts on it, or or Bronco Juggalo, or one of my many favorite horror YouTubers out there, like Andrew Ballin, who did really enjoy Child's Play 2019. Seems like a kind of a mix on that film. A lot of people seem to love it, but it seems like the hardcore Chucky fans have issues with it. But people who have an open mind about it seem to really like it. So I'm really do want to see that. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to catch it in theaters, because I don't really go to the movies very often. I can't afford it, I'm pretty poor. So I only go to see movies when it's something I really, really want to see, like Spider-Man Far From Home. I've really been looking forward to that, so I am going to see that. But I probably won't go to the movies again for another 6 months, probably. you know. Peace, Andrew. Yeah, so that brings me to discussing now. Let's talk about Halloween and the upcoming sequel coming out in 2020. Can you believe it's coming already? It's crazy. Like, I wasn't even sure if they were going to do it, but that ship has sailed. They are going to do it, and it will have Jamie Lee Curtis in the film. She is returning to the role of Laurie Strode, and I believe pretty much the whole cast is at least the ones that survived. Um, trying to think of the names. Andy Matichek and Judy Greer, I believe, are going to be returning as well as Laurie's daughter and granddaughter, respectively. Me Gore says, "Me neither, Sean. Poor man's gang." That's right. I am part of the poor man's gang. Why do you think I'm working 2 jobs? Because I'm freaking poor. Because I gotta get things going in my life. I gotta get to a better place. That's why I'm doing it. So yeah, what do you guys think about the upcoming Halloween sequel, 2020? What are your thoughts? I'm very curious to hear. So, like I said in one of my videos there, I'm kind of in the middle about it. Part of me was okay with them just ending it where they did. I felt like that was the right thing to do. Part of me thinks, because I'm one of the people that wants to see an end, a uh, a final act to the Halloween franchise. I know that's hard to say because I am such a huge fan of the franchise, but I just don't want it to be watered down because it will eventually. Eventually, it's going to turn back into Halloween Resurrection again. If you just keep making movies, eventually it's going to turn into garbage. It's going to turn into a product like Halloween Resurrection was. And I don't want to see that happen again, That's why, and I feel like, Halloween 2018 was a nice return to form for the franchise. So I really don't want to see it go too much further. Let's get maybe one. We had one more good one. Now let's maybe have, okay, one more good one, and then let's just end it because I don't want to see it get. I don't want to see it get like another shitty movie like Resurrection. Adam Paul Beaumont says Halloween Resurrection. Ew. Ew. Get away from me. Get away from me. Don't even get me started on Halloween Resurrection. My God. How did it ever reach that point? That's the funny thing is, you had such a nice return to form with Halloween H2O. Now, what if that happens again? And they're like, oh, did one too many? You know, what if it happens again? It's like, oh, we just got back with a good movie. Now we're going back in the shit house again. That's what I'm scared of. Movie Freak 688 says, I've tried watching Resurrection 5 times and I can't make it 20 minutes in. So the funny thing about my experience with Halloween Resurrection was when I went to go see it, I actually liked it. I had a good time. But I think a lot of that was because of the atmosphere I was in the movie theater, that it was packed and everyone was into it and people were screaming and it was a lot of fun. But of course, when I got it on DVD, then I realized what a shit show it is. And Paul Beaumont says Halloween H2O had the perfect ending, though. Yes, absolutely. Probably the best ending in the franchise, I would say. That's where the series should have ended. Should have ended right there. But that's just my opinion, you know. I would have been fine with it, you know. Yeah, the funny thing is, yeah, there's a part of me that wants it to go on and go on and go on forever. I don't want Michael Myers to ever die, and that's kind of the nerd fanboy in me. But the sensible horror fan in me uh doesn't want it to keep going on and on and on. And so, what do you guys think? Do you think that John Carpenter is going to return and do the soundtrack? Do you think that David Gordon Green is going to return and direct, or is Danny McBride going to co-write again? That's something I'm not sure I would want because Danny McBride, if he's the one that worked on the humor aspect of Halloween 2018, that's probably the weakest part of that film is the humor. Especially that one scene that just makes me cringe when the two cops are eating the sandwiches and he's describing in such great detail about his stupid sandwich. You're like, dude, shut up, will you? Can we move on? Why am I watching this right now? Why do I give a stinking shit about these two cops? Just do your job and catch Michael Myers. I don't want to hear you talking about your freaking sandwich. That part made me just cringe. And there were a couple scenes, unfortunately, that made me cringe in Halloween 2018. Sad to say. I mean, I think overall it was a good return to form, but it had some issues. You know, it was far from perfect. But the two things that it did right, and it did real right, is Laurie Strode, as played so brilliantly by Jamie Lee Curtis. She was phenomenal, and Michael Myers, and that's the most important thing. They got Michael Myers right. They nailed him. He had that classic feel of the original film and like Halloween 2 era, He had the classic feel of Michael Myers and it was so refreshing. It was so great to see that return. It was so cool to see classic Michael Myers back on screen instead of like the Rob Zombie version or the Resurrection. You know, you got to see classic Michael Myers. And the mask looked great. It looked awesome. And it was great. It was really cool seeing that. And I think James Jude Courtney is a big part of why it worked too. He did a fantastic job as Michael Myers. Absolutely. And I hope that that's another thing. You think they're gonna get James Jude Courtney back as Michael Myers? I think they really need to. I mean, I'm praying that they get him back. I know. Nick Castle's been talking about he wants to return, but I don't know. He only did one like small cameo in 2018. I don't know if I would want him to come back and do the entire movie. I don't know. He's kind of old now. I mean, James Jude Courtney's no spring chicken either, but at least he can move well. He's in shape. I'm not so sure with the shape Nick Castle is in right now. When I saw him, he kind of had beer gut. Remember that when he was they showed that video of him in the treadmill running, getting with the Michael Myers mask on. That was funny. 2018 did have a great Michael Myers. Movie Freak 688 says, I think Courtney will return. Let's hope so. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But we haven't heard anything yet on that. So I'm holding out hope. They really need to get him back. I just can't see another random dude doing as good a performance as he did. No way. You know why? Because he's so invested in the character, because he's a huge fan of Halloween and the Halloween franchise as a whole. And you could tell he really studied Nick Castle and Dick Warlock and all that. And I feel like he was a good balance of like both. I would say he had a little bit of Nick Castle, he had a little bit of Dick Warlock from Halloween 2, and he had even a little bit of the a smidgen of Rob Zombie, the more brutal aspect probably comes from Rob Zombie, Michael Myers. Which, that's one of the things I actually did think that Tyler Mane was good in the role of Michael, and in that he certainly was the most brutal Michael Myers. So I felt like James Jude was such a great mix of all three, like the Nick Castle classic feel of the shape, and a little more the scarier, more demonic Michael from Dick Warlock and Halloween 2 was in there, and kind of the Rob Zombie version. I think it was a great mix of all those. But it was definitely more of the classic feel, which I really appreciated. So those were the two things that were most important, and they got them right, and that's why it works. And you also had Andy Matchak, I think, was a welcome surprise in the franchise. I thought she did a great job as Karen Strode. I'm sorry, not Karen Strode. Uh, Karen was Judy Greer. I thought Judy Greer was very good too. Some people didn't like her though. I don't really know why, but some people didn't like Judy Greer in the role. I don't know if that's maybe because they wanted Danielle Harris to be the door, which I did too. I can feel you there. I definitely wish they would have brought Danielle Harris back as Jamie to be Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter. And that would have just made all would be right with the world if they did that. And I think the fans would just go nuts. They would go ape shit if they did that. I would love it. I wish they did that. But we can't have everything. We can't always get what you want, like the Rolling Stones said. You're never gonna get it all. You're never gonna get everything you want in these movies. Yeah, they're going to cater. They might cater to the fans a little bit, but you're not gonna get everything you want. Plus, people want different things. That's hard. Not everybody wants the classic Michael back. They probably wanted another Rob Zombie movie. Some people, you know, Stones knew what was up. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm saying, yes, they did. So yeah, I feel like Halloween 2018 was a nice return to form, but I am a little leery about what this next one is going to be. We haven't heard too much about it. We just know that it's happening. So as time goes by and more things develop, it's going to be interesting to see where they go with it. I am curious to see where they go with it. Um, and if I like where they go with it, and this is another thing, you know, because I did like where they went with it in 2018. I didn't like some aspects of it. I didn't like the fact that they ignored part two. I had a big issue with that, and that pissed me off. Actually, to be honest with you, why? Because I love Halloween too. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's a fantastic sequel, and it's my favorite sequel in horror history, honestly. And so I had a big problem with that. I was pissed for a while, but eventually I got over it because, you know, I mean, let's be realistic. You're getting Jamie Lee Curtis back, so I gotta thank God for small favors. I can't. get everything I want. Like I just said, if I had my way, it would have not ignored Halloween 2. We would have kept that at least Halloween 2 as part of canon and keep the brother and sister angle, which they got rid of. And if you watch the movie, you're like, why do they need to get rid of it? Because it could have been the same exact movie and kept the brother and sister thing that would have made any difference, I think. They didn't need to retcon it. Why? Because it didn't matter. They could have kept it easily and not they could have kept it easily and not have retcon Halloween 2, you know? Because now, when you look back, it's like, oh, so Halloween 2 doesn't matter anymore. Well, it matters to me. It certainly matters to me. Because there's no way that that movie is better than Halloween 2. Well, that's just my opinion. Maybe, I'm sure some people do like it better. To me, it's not even close. But I just thought it was a nice return to form. But it certainly does not replace Halloween 2 in my mind and never will. Sorry, guys, I have a sore throat. It's kind of hard to um, keep talking like this. But anyway, I am looking forward to it, but cautiously looking forward to it. Because where are they gonna go with it? I just don't want them to do the same exact thing they just did. Oh, Michael escapes and goes after them again. And the same thing we've seen already several times throughout the franchise. I would like to see them do something a little bit different. Movie Freak 688, Halloween 2, 1981 is a classic. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Preach it, brother. Love hearing that. So yeah, I mean, I would like to see them do something a little bit different. Like maybe take Michael a little bit out of his element somehow. Like maybe have Laurie and the daughter and granddaughter move somewhere else, and then Michael like follow him there or something. Like somewhere outside of Haddonfield. Because when you think about it, I mean, how many times can he go back to Haddonfield and they're not ready for him? Yeah, I know it's supposed to be a sequel that retcons everything with the original, but still, we know there was Halloween 4. We all know there was Halloween 4 and 5 and 6. Come on. We're not stupid. We know. And then that's the thing, how many times can you go back to Haddonfield and the cops don't know what to do with them by now? Come on. You don't think wouldn't the cops have a whole freaking army ready for them, throwing grenades and shit at them and machine guns and come on. After a while, they'll know how to handle him, no matter how tough he is, or how strong he is, or how like indestructible he is. They'd be ready for him. They'd know how to handle him. Just, I mean, right now, the only one that knows how to handle him is Jamie Lee. She's the only one that knows how to handle him out of anybody in Haddonfield after 40 years. And that's going to become a stretch after a while. Kind of take him out of his. I would like to see him taken out of his element a little bit, somewhere different, new bodies to hack up. See Michael Myers underneath the Hollywood sign or something. Can you imagine? See Michael Myers at the chasing Laurie up the Eiffel Tower in London. See Michael Myers goes to Paris. Halloween Halloween 25. Michael goes to Paris. He follows Lori on the plane and like hides underneath it. Waits for her to get off the plane and follows her. Can you imagine? Why not? He's a human being. You see what he's capable of. Why couldn't he do that? Why couldn't he go on a plane somewhere? He's smart. He's not a dummy. You know, you've seen how he plays with his victim and toys with them. He's not a dummy. He's not. He knows what's going on in there. It's not just complete blankness. I mean, he is pure evil, but he does have a brain. He does have a mind. He can think. He's not like a kind of a brainless, like, the original Frankenstein. I mean, eventually the original Frankenstein did become smart, but he's not like a mindless zombie, He has a brain in there. So what do you guys think out there in the chat, about 2020? Do you think, what do you think they're going to do with it? Where do you think they're going to go with it? Because I'm very curious. It's going to be interesting to see as it develops. And when you get those little nuggets of information that come out, it's going to be interesting. That's all I can say is, yeah, part of me is happy that it's happening. I'm going to get to go to the movie theaters and see my favorite horror icon on the screen again. And that's great, But I just want it to be good, I'm scared that it's not going to be, I'm scared they're going to start going off the rails with it. I think the mom or Lori die, Movie Freak 688 says. It's very possible. See, that's the thing. I want to see a closure, I want the Lori and Michael saga to come to an end. Like like Avengers Endgame kind of thing, bring the closure that Halloween deserves on an epic scale. That's what I want to see, something like that. Someone that really cares about the franchise and wants to bring it to a satisfying end, you know, because there has to be an end sometime, guys. Michael cannot live forever. The Halloween franchise cannot just keep going on and on forever. Come on, it's got to stop sometime. If you have any respect for the franchise, let's go out on a high note, with one last good Halloween film, a balls to the wall horror film that's serious, that's kick ass, with awesome music, awesome kills, and let's do it right. And let's end it right. Once and for all. That's what I want to see. Are they gonna do that? I doubt it, because it's like Halloween's like a money train. He, that's the thing. It's a very successful franchise. And when it comes out, look how much money Halloween 2018 made. It made like $255 million with a budget of 10 million. That's quite a profit. So that's the thing, that's what I'm scared about. As long as it keeps making money, they're gonna keep pumping them out. That's what I'm worried about. And eventually they're gonna become crap. 2020, Michael's going to kidnap someone. Maybe he'll kidnap Karen or somebody. Movie Freak says, I'd like to see them start over and get back to the basics. Michael stalking random people. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And we haven't seen that in a long time. It's like he got out, and right away he's going after Lori. I mean, he had a couple random kills, but it seemed like that was his mission, even though You know, even though it'd been 40 years, it's like, why would you still worry about this one girl you don't even know? You don't even know her. You're not really into her. So that's the thing, why if they didn't retcon part two, it would make more sense that he went after her in a way, if you think about it, because it almost makes no sense. The fact that 40 years later, he's been in jail all this time, and he still wants to go after Laurie Strode, some random girl. Why? And you could say, yeah, well, he's pure evil, or the fact that just because she got away, she's the one that got away from him. But man, you still care about that 40 years later. Official Scream Queen, Stephanie Beaton. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the party. Welcome, official Scream Queen Stephanie Beaton, to the channel, to the Horror Corner. Thank you for joining us in the chat, Stephanie. We got Movie Freak 688 here. We got Need Gore. We got Adam Paul Beaumont in the chat. And we're having a great time. This is the live horror stream 5, The Awakening. I was like the come up with these funny like sequel names, like these live streams are sequels. Last one I called the sequel, I think. Something. What was it? Can't remember. The next one's going to be Live Horror Stream 6. Shawnee Lives. Yes, we're shooting another short. Oh, what, making a short film? Very cool. I'm new to your channel, by the way. I've watched some of your videos. It's very interesting. Now, when you say official scream queen, have you been in? Are you an actual scream queen? Have you been in movies, like horror movies? Just curious. Which that would be cool. I'd be interested to hear about that. I'm doing 31 days of horror. You mean like Halloween thing, or something now that's 31 days? I know a lot of people do that at Halloween time to do a horror movie review every day, 31 days. I don't know how people do that. That's insane. Oh, yeah. Happy being on Sean's Live. Yeah, welcome, Igor. I'm very happy to have you guys. This is great. This has been a great time. Having a blast here, my peeps, at the Horror Corner. And we're talking all things horror. We're talking about, currently, we were talking about Halloween. Oh, yeah. So official Scream Queen Stephanie Beaton says over 50 horror films I've acted in. No kidding. Wow. Like, what were you in offhand? Anything I'd know? A lot of like kind of small, low budget stuff, or indies, or I'm curious. Yeah, I'll check something out that you've been in. I like to check it out. What would you suggest, Stephanie, that I check out of yours that you've been in? I'm pre-shooting the horror shorts and releasing in October. Oh, very cool. Well, congratulations on that. That is so cool. Early, I think it was last year, I did a little horror short that was kind of fun. So that's another thing I like to do in the future. I'm gonna do little horror shorts like that. I did one called the Hands of the Killer. If you guys want to check that out, it was a little horror short, kind of like a little slasher thing. I had a lot of fun doing that. Google me, baby. Okay. All right, I'll Google you. We're curious to check some of your stuff out, Stephanie. So that's kind of really all the topics I wanted to go over in the stream tonight. So I'll kind of leave it open to you guys. Do you have any thoughts or questions you want to ask? You can do a little Q&A if you want. I've done Witchcraft 9, 10, 11, Carnival on HBO. That oh really? Wow. The X Files. Wow. Oh, that's big time. I remember that show, Carnival on HBO. The Crawling Brain. That sounds interesting. Oh, cool. I gotta check this stuff out. Just Google. Yeah, I will. I'll Google you, Stephanie. And so see that we're joined by an official Scream Queen. Isn't that cool? An actress in the business, actually in the business in horror. So how cool is that? That sounds so boss. Yes, it does need gore. I love your channel, official Scream Queen Stephanie Beaton says. Thank you very much. Um, I just have fun with it, you know. So cool to connect with you guys tonight, to connect with the subscribers, and to connect with the YouTube horror community, which I love so much. Um, yeah, and like you saw, you know, we got fellow YouTubers in the chat here, and Igor, and you know, it's kind of funny. A lot of my subscribers are fellow YouTubers, probably like 90% of them, I think. At least 90% of them are fellow YouTubers, which is funny. There's not a lot. I don't think there's a lot of my subscribers that are just random horror fans. Movie Freak 688 says I watched The Dream Master again today. Solid sequel. Yes, I completely agree on that. I really enjoy Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. A lot of people hate on that one. I don't quite understand why. I think there's a lot of great um dream sequences in part four. Um, yeah, Freddy did get a little more jokey, but I didn't think that it got to the point where it was unbearable. Like I feel like five is the point where he got unbearable, where I couldn't take it because he has a lot of funny lines in four. You know, I love the Roach Motel thing. That is great. That's one of my favorite sequences in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. You can check in, but you can't check out. That's awesome. Stephanie says I started a group on Facebook for horror creators on YouTube. Interesting. Maybe I'll hit you up on that. What's the name of it? I mean, if you want to divulge that information. I belong to a lot of groups like that on Facebook. Quite a few, and quite a few of them are done by fellow YouTubers. Like there's Horror Enthusiasts 101, which has Derek's Horror Corner, and Esley from Entertainment Fanatic Reviews in there. And there's, you know, a lot of the uh, small YouTubers go to that channel, like Adam Paul Beaumont, we saw in the chat earlier. I see him in there a lot. Currently watching Annie's Kill in Halloween. Yeah, that's classic. Amazing. I love the build up too, like when she's like singing the song. No keys, but please, mom. Oh, Paul. And then it's just such oh man, I can't say enough about Halloween. I love that when Annie like wipes the windshield and he sees the breath on the glass, and she's just like, hmm. And then Michael Myers is in the back seat. Such an awesome scene. YouTube horror creator community. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of them I belong to. There's old school horror, and there's a lot of ones with just YouTube people. Like Queenie Todd has one, a Facebook page where a lot of YouTubers go to that. There's the Late Late Horror Show has one called Horror Town, where so many of the YouTubers go to that site. Um, no, there's so many of them. Random Ross, Random Horror, um, the Random Ross who does random TV as well. He's got a few different channels. He's got his own Facebook page where a lot of the YouTubers go to that one. There's so many of them. There's Gory B Movie. She has her own Facebook page where a lot of the YouTubers go, uh, called the Gory Hole. So, guys, check out all these Facebook pages, and it's a great place where people can go and you can promote your channel on there. So that's a great way to get people watching your videos too. I also have the Twitter site. If I don't know if you guys know about that. Well, a lot of you do because I see you on there. Like I think I just saw Igor on there. So they're all on Twitter too. So Twitter is also a great way to promote the YouTube channel as well. Someone told me you should get on Instagram too. I'm like, come on, I can't keep track of all this stuff. It's hard enough doing Facebook and Twitter. I can't handle anymore. I'm doing YouTube. If I start doing Instagram now, come on, I can't keep up with all that. It's hard trying to keep up with Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Even just keeping up with YouTube is hard because I try and watch all my friends' videos, my fellow YouTube creators. I try and watch as many of their videos I can and comment and like the videos and subscribe to new YouTubers that I've heard about or that friends have told me about. Subscribe to so many people, and it's so hard to watch everyone's videos, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings either. Too, if I can't get to them all, I can't always get to watch everybody's videos. I want to, so I'm kind of have to be selective with it, unfortunately. Um, but I do my best. I comment on a lot of people's stuff, but I watch a lot of people's videos. And at the same time, I still do watch some of the bigger ones. But I do my best. I try. That's all I can say. That's all I can do is do the best you can to try and keep up with things. Holy cow, it's 2:30. Oh, wow. I think I'm gonna need to have to go to bed at some point, guys. This is kind of getting crazy now. I didn't realize it was so late. Man, time flies, I tell you. Time flies when you're having fun. And I am having fun with you guys in YouTube. In the YouTube world of horror. In the YouTube world of horror is a great place. Absolutely. I love watching all the small YouTubers videos. Like it's so much fun and so many of you guys are just great. You're great at what you do. You know what you're talking about. You know and understand the horror genre. You've seen every freaking movie there is and know everything about it. It's just great to see that. I'm so interested in seeing other people's opinions on things. And it's great when, someone shares that opinion too, and you can talk to them like, yeah, man, that was such a great scene. You know? Oh man, the way that scene was shot was amazing. All the blood, the gore in that scene was amazing. Oh, that guy was such a performance in that movie. You know, it's so great when you can connect with people on that level and just talk about the things you love. You know, talk about horror together and share our love of horror. It's just so amazing. It's so much fun, and it's been such a honor and a distinct pleasure to make the friends that I've made here on YouTube. And I just want to say that I'm so proud of the friends that I've made and the work that they've done. They do such great work, and they work hard, and everyone works so hard at this, and they do such a fantastic job. And I just want to tip my hat to you guys, even though I'm not wearing one. But all you guys out there, you horror YouTubers, do such a great job, and you really know your stuff, and I really appreciate that. Movie Freak 688 says, "What are your three favorite Friday 13th movies?" That's a good question. So, and that, and the first two are going to be really easy. You know why? Because it's one and two. Those are my two favorite, the first two films by far. And I know that's not the opinion of a lot of people, but that's my opinion. I love the first two Friday 13th movie. To me, they're both horror classics, not just slasher classics, horror classics. I think Friday 13th, the original, is amazing, and it's an absolute horror classic. Stephanie says, I agree. I love those who love this genre. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, even if you don't always agree on things, if you don't always have the same opinions, it doesn't matter. You love horror and you share in the love of horror, even if you don't agree on everything. Friday the 13th is one of my part one is my favorite. Awesome. That's great to hear. I love hearing that because I think it's amazing. Because a lot of people just want to see Jason, and Jason do his thing, which is why Friday 13th Part 2 is great to me. I love that they continued it so well in Part 2 and that the mantle went over to Jason, and Jason's a great character. But I also love the original. I love Pamela Voorhees' story. I love the whole lore of it, the legend of Jason, that we saw in part one, even though we didn't really see him there until that final scene, which is one of the greatest scenes in horror history, in my opinion. That scene on Crystal Lake with Alice in the canoe, and you hear that beautiful music, and it's like, oh, everything's great, everything's wonderful. She escaped the murderer, she got her, she killed her, and now she's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. No, it's not, because Jason is coming out of the water to kill you and grab you and drag you and drown you into the water. Everything is not okay. One of the greatest jump scares of all time. And also the effects work by Tom Savini in the original Friday 13th is great and amazing in that scene in particular when you see the makeup on Jason. That's awesome. And there's some awesome kills in the original Friday 13th. Awesome makeup job and special effects and blood makeup. Gotta love Tom Savini. I mean, come on. He is the master of blood and gore. So, guys, yeah. So, to think about my third favorite Friday 13th, though, that's a little tougher. And for me, it's going to be Friday 13th Part 6, believe it or not. Jason Lives would be my third favorite. Absolutely. I know a lot of people say, the final chapter is their favorite in the franchise, even not just like second or third favorite. most people say Friday 13th, the final chapter, is their favorite. But I don't necessarily agree with that. I do enjoy the film, but I find some flaws and stuff that I don't like about it. Like I don't like I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like the characters in Friday 13th Part 4, the final chapter. I don't like um most of those characters, like Crispin Glover. I don't like his character, he's an idiot. And I don't like the stoner dude, his buddy there who's sitting watching the stupid porno movies on the movie screen. Either he's an idiot. They're just fodder for Jason. They have no redeeming qualities. That's just me. I don't care for I didn't like the characters in the final chapter like a lot of people do. I actually cringe when you see him do that stupid dance. I'm like, oh, don't do that. And there's, the twins, what? So they're twins, okay, and they're attractive. I get it. But yeah, the reason I love Part Six, I actually like the characters in Part Six. Like you had this sheriff there, I really liked him. Um, I really liked Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis. He did a great job. I liked the girl in the film too. I forget her name. The sheriff's daughter. What was her name? I thought she did a really good job too. There were a lot of good characters in there. You had the old man who was funny, making the one-liners like, "Why'd they have to go dig up Jason? Some folks got a strange idea of entertainment." You gotta love that old man in the part six. Yeah, I mean, I love the humor in part six. Yeah, it's definitely very self-aware. I feel like they owe, like the people who made Scream, like Wes Craven, owe a lot to the makers of Friday 13th Part 6 because that was kind of that same thing. It was a movie that was very self-aware. It was almost like a parody within an actual horror movie because it still had all the classic slasher elements, and it did have a serious side. Jason was taken very seriously, and Jason was always a threat and was always the one to look out for. Scream Queen Stephanie Beaton says, I honestly don't think I made it past four. Well, check out part six because I think it's really enjoyable. I think you might like it. It's surprisingly good. It's very good. And it's very well shot and very well directed by Tom McLaughlin. That's why people are talking about him being interested in making another movie. Tom McLaughlin recently came out saying that he wants to make another Friday 13th. What do you guys think about that? I actually was excited when I heard that. I'm like, yeah, do it. I'm all for that. Even though I said before that I don't think there needs to be another Friday 13th movie at all, but it would pique my interest if you got someone like Tom McLaughlin directing. That would interest me. I'd be curious to see what he could do with it. I'm not big on sequels or remake, but when Jason went to New York City, that killed it. Yeah, I can't argue with you on that one. Not a big fan of Jason Takes Manhattan. It had a few good moments, but yeah, it's bad. Let's be honest, guys. That's another thing. Like people love Kane Hodder so much as Jason, but it's kind of unfortunate that he was in the four worst Friday 13th movies, in my opinion. But I do, don't get me wrong, I do think Kane Hodder was a very good Jason. Movie Freak 688 says, I don't need an origin story. I just want to see Jason slicing and dicing. Yeah, that's certainly part of the fun of it, but it's not the whole thing for me. I did appreciate the origins and the backstory of Friday 13 because I think it's very good. You know, I love the fact that Pamela. I love the story of the original Friday 13th. I love Pamela Voorhees and the fact that she was just a mother. That's her son drowned in the Crystal Lake when he was just a little boy, and he was a boy that had some problems, who had mental issues and things. And it's sad that her son died and drowned when, none of the camp counselors were paying any attention. They were making love when that boy drowned. And it's kind of a sad story. And then the mother is just taking her aggressions out and her revenge on these counselors that weren't paying any attention when the boy drowned. I love it. And to think that a mother would go to that extent, you know, for her son, actually kill people. To me, Friday 13th is more than just Jason slicing and dicing. There's more to that character. If you want to see a movie that's just about slicing dicing, then the New York Ripper, get watch something like this, because that's slicing and dicing for you. If you want to see real slicing and dicing, watch the New York Ripper, because that puts the slash in slasher movie. Absolutely, it's absolutely brutal. The kills, in the New York Ripper. I don't think I've seen a movie that can match the kills in the sheer violence and brutality of the kills as New York Ripper. And that's saying a lot because I know there've been a lot of brutal, brutal slasher movies, but I think the New York Ripper might be the most brutal slasher movie I've ever seen. The kills are just vicious. The guy cuts into this one girl with a straight razor blade and cuts from her forehead down to her eyeball, straight through her eyeball, and just keeps going. And goes straight down a boob and cuts in between her nipple. And oh my god, it's unbelievable. It's so brutal. Fair enough. I just want to see Jason in a movie. That's all. So that's the thing. I mean, why do you need a new movie? That's part of me that thinks, why do they need a new movie? There's 12 Friday 13th movies to go on. Why do they need a new one? They've already done it all. And you got all these fan movies out now, like the Never Hike Alone and all that. Which they've actually, in part two, they're gonna actually have uh, Tom Matthews in it. I heard. So yeah, they could continue it that way. They don't even have to make it a new movie. But if they do, I do want like Tom McLaughlin to direct. If they do make one, I want to see somebody like that direct it. What about Itchy the Killer? Yeah, I haven't seen that, Stephanie. I haven't seen Itchy the Killer. I've heard a lot about it though. Paul Beaumont says hi, Stephanie. Yeah, that's the name of it. Itchy the Killer. Hey Adam, I'm curious to see Stephanie's movies now. What do you think about that? She actually stars in horror films. She is an official scream queen. Oh geez, here we go. Movie Freak says Alien or Aliens, the age old debate. Well, I can tell you right now, Alien, the original Alien from 1979, um, easily for me. It's no contest. Is Alien one of the greatest sequels of all time? Absolutely. So not to take anything away from Aliens, it's a fantastic sequel, no question about it. It's the same thing. It's like Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 for me. I love Terminator the original. I love it more than Terminator 2. Does not eclipse part 2 for me. I mean, it does not eclipse the original for me, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Even though it's an excellent sequel, but it's just that excellent sequel. It's not better than the original for me. Why? Because the original had Arnold Schwarzenegger, the killer machine, and he's terrifying in that movie. I want to see the badass killing machine Arnold. That's what I loved about the original film. He's such a badass, and I didn't like him as much in the second one because he's the good guy protecting John and Sarah. Is it a great movie? Absolutely. I mean, it's a great sequel, no question about it. But I like the original. I thought it was scarier. It had some horror elements to it. Had an amazing soundtrack. Um, I love everything about the original. The action is amazing. It's just awesome. What? Yeah, the Terminator does have slash elements, doesn't it? I think James Cameron even said that once too. True movie freak. There is no wrong answer. Both great films. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. The thing the thing about Alien for me is the reason why it's such a masterpiece is a lot of it has to do with the it holds up so well today. And that a lot of that has to do with the amazing set design by H.R. Giger, the artists that worked on the film and did the creature design and all that. And it's which is my favorite creature design of all time. And I love the horror aspect to it. It's so scary. I love the suspense in the film, the tension, and everyone in that cast is excellent. And at the top of their game, Sigourney Weaver is brilliant. Everybody in that movie is great. And Aliens, I can't say the same thing. I was annoyed by Paul Reiser's character. I couldn't stand him. Some of them were cheesy. Some of the acting was campy, and like some of the soldier characters, like Bill Paxton. Yeah, he was kind of fun, but you know, was he good? I don't know. I know a lot of people love Bill Paxton in that movie, but I thought he was a little over the top. I don't know. Sigourney Weaver was absolutely excellent in Aliens, but she was excellent in the first movie too. But the whole cast in the first movie is great, and the direction by Ridley Scott is phenomenal. Yeah, Alien for me, the original is just freaking awesome, and it holds up so amazingly well today. I can watch Alien; it just holds up 100%. It's still terrifying, and it's still absolutely awesome. Many folks consider Terminator to be as I do. I had a guy argue with me for an hour that it wasn't. Yeah, like I wouldn't go so far as to say that Terminator is a straight out horror film, but it certainly has horror in there. It's definitely a major part of it. It's horror. It's horror. It's equal parts science fiction, horror, and action, all three, and both it does all three brilliantly. I love the original Terminator. To me, the original Terminator from 1984 is a 5-star masterpiece. It's just so badass, you know. It's so freaking badass. Did you win the argument, Corey? What's that about? Movie Freak 688 says Terminator is definitely one of those multi-genre movies, sci-fi, action, and horror. Yeah, totally agree. All right, guys, this is getting crazy. It's almost 3 o'clock now. I gotta go to bed. I gotta try and get some sleep. So this was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on the live horror stream 5, The Awakening. It was so much fun getting back into doing a live stream after such a long time. Uh, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching the entire YouTube horror community. Thank you all. And thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared. Good night, folks. Bye.